In today's video, we're going to be breaking down an article from MarketWatch dated April 19th about the condition of the housing market, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents on what I think about this information. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am David Greene, your real estate expert, here to help you build wealth through real estate. Let's go back to 2019. COVID was first going to hit the country. There was a lot of fear mongering going on. Everyone thought the economy was going to completely crash, and with it, real estate prices. Well, that didn't happen. Through 2020 and 2021, we saw a surge in prices never before seen by most people following the market. Now we're in 2022, and there are no signs of things slowing down. So I'm here to talk today about why that might be, what we can expect in the future, and most importantly, how you can position yourself to make the most money possible based on what we can reasonably deduce from this market. Now, I am constantly looking at what's going on in the market and when I think things are going to change. If you're like me and you like updates like these, please subscribe to my channel so you can get notified every single time I make a video like this so that you can stay abreast of current events just like I do. All right, so in this article, they ask home and mortgage experts, as well as economists, what they predict for 2022. Here's what those people provided. Prediction number 1, there may be less competition for higher priced homes. I agree with this prediction, and here's why. We've had the Fed telling us they're going to continue to raise interest rates and they don't plan on stopping. Now, one thing people don't realize is an interest rate increase does affect how much you spend when you're borrowing money, but it doesn't affect every property the same way. For instance, let's look at a 1% increase in interest rates. Now, let's start off with a lower priced home. Let's say you're buying a house for $150,000 and you're putting 20% down. If your interest rate is 4.5%, that means that your total monthly payment is going to be $608. Now, if we bump that interest rate up a full percent from 4.5 to 5.5%, your payment goes from 608 to 681. Now, it's not like that's nothing, but I think most people can agree the difference from a $608 a month to $681 a month is not going to break the bank or maybe even change the deal for someone at that price range. Now, let's look at this same phenomena, but on a $2 million priced home, because as the article talks about, they're talking about the impact on higher priced property. At 4.5% interest rate, on a $2 million home where you're putting 20% down, your principal and interest would be $8,107. If the interest rate jumps to 5.5% on that same deal, your principal and interest jump to $9,085. That is an almost $1,000 a month difference. If rates continue up on this high priced home to 6.5%, the total principal and interest becomes $10,113. That's about a $2,000 a month difference. Now, that is enough to significantly impact how much someone can pay for a house. And this is only at a $2 million house. When you get into the $3, the $4, the $5 million properties, these rate hikes become catastrophic. And that's because when you're borrowing more money, the interest rate you're getting becomes more and more important. And many of us forget this because as investors, we're buying lower priced homes, or as people who are starting off trying to build wealth in real estate, we're hustling and grinding and watching videos like this one. You're probably not buying $3, $4, $5 million properties or even more than that to live in for yourself. So when rates go up like this, it affects luxury real estate much more than it affects starter homes. The other thing is the people that are buying luxury real estate typically have their hands deeper into the business world. They're entrepreneurs or they're high-powered executives that can afford these kinds of houses. Those people are more financially savvy and they're nervous about spending more on their home when they think that the market could turn around. You can't take a $5 million home and rent it out to somebody and still cash flow in almost every single scenario. So they don't have the backup plan that the person buying the $150,000 home does have. So I do agree with prediction number 1, that there may be less competition for higher priced homes. That means if you're looking to sell a luxury property, you should be aware that it will probably sit on the market longer and it could be harder to sell it. And if you're thinking about buying a luxury property, maybe wait a little bit longer to see if the houses sit on the market longer and you can get a better deal. Prediction number 2, rising mortgage rates may force some buyers out of the market. I also agree with this one. Here's the problem with rising interest rates. It makes the property less affordable. Now, for some people in certain situations, we don't care. It may be less affordable, but it's still affordable. It may be less affordable, but it's still a better option than anywhere else that I could put my money. What I'm getting at is people that are in my situation that have a little bit of capital to play with, and they're a little more experienced when it comes to working within this asset class. We can still buy the homes we want and we can still make them work. The decrease in affordability hurts the new person trying to get into the market. It hurts the person who's trying to get their first home or maybe a step up home. It hurts the people that don't have tons of cash that can't pay over the appraised price. It hurts the people that we want to help the most with real estate. So unfortunately, I don't see a crash coming from rising interest rates, but I do see the people that were sort of on the bottom end of the tier system getting pushed out of the ability to compete with the people that are more experienced. Now, let me give you a little bit of advice on how this phenomenon might play out in individual markets. Okay. If you're in a market like me, the San Francisco Bay Area, where a nice home can get anywhere from 10 to 12 offers, don't expect the rise in rates and the buyers that are getting pushed out of the market to actually affect what a home sells for. Even if somehow rates get pushed to where 50% of the buyers get pushed out of a market and our listings go from 10 to 12 offers per house to 5 to 6 offers per house, they are still selling, and they are still selling for over asking price. Even if we lost half of our buyer pool, there's still so little inventory and so much demand that it wouldn't make prices go down. It might make them go up, but slower. So if you're waiting for the housing crash because of this rate hike, don't do it in an area with high demand. These are markets like the San Francisco Bay Area, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, anywhere in South Florida, Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding markets, the hot markets where everybody wants to move, own investment property, or live in. You're not going to see the rate increase slow those markets down. Where you might find that are in the markets where most other investors and people are not leaving California or New York to move to. So I could throw some names out there, something like Topeka, Kansas, or anywhere in North Dakota, places where you don't see a ton of demand of people trying to move into those markets. You might see a slowdown there. So if you're an investor that plays in some of those markets that are not as popular, or you're someone watching this video who lives there, the rate hike could make prices come down because you're not getting 10 to 12 offers for a house in its current state. So for those people, or for people looking to find a market that's not as hot, look that way. Zig where everyone else is zagging. If Californians are moving to an area, don't go look there. Go look in the areas where you don't see New Yorkers and Californians moving to. Prediction number 3, home prices will keep going up, but growth will slow somewhat. All right, so this prediction is based on the fact that prices will keep going up, but they won't be going up as fast because there are less buyers that are looking. Again, this is very market specific. I disagree with this premise in major metropolitan cities that are growing, places where people are moving to. Warm weather, low state income taxes, that type of stuff is very popular right now. So don't expect home prices to decrease anywhere in Miami. It's not going to happen. Even if other people can't afford to buy that house, you're just knocking out the bottom 20 to 30 to 40% of buyers. The top 60% can still afford that house and are still going to move there. The only place where you might see home prices not growing as fast are going to be in the markets where not a lot of people are buying already. And that's something where I disagree with this article, because they're making it sound like this is going to happen to the nation as a whole. So if you've had your heart set on buying in Nashville, Tennessee, and you really want to live there, and you're seeing the interest rates are going up, maybe I'll finally be able to get a house. Maybe. I don't think that that's going to be the case. I would definitely not bet on that. If I had a chance to buy anything in that area and I wanted to live there, I would jump on it rather than waiting for rates to go up and demand to go down. Prediction number 4. Some employees may face difficult decisions about returning to work in person, and that may affect their housing choices. All right, so I think that this article is really getting at the whole work from home phenomena. And people are thinking that certain markets might be affected by people that don't have to live there because they would have to drive to work. If people can work from home, they may live in different areas than where they traditionally have. The idea would be that they think that you're going to see people that are going to be going from big cities into more sort of like urban areas, maybe the suburbs. The other thing that it mentions is that some people will have to return to work in the future. So the work from home phenomena could be working in reverse, where people that were allowed to stay at home and work are now going to be forced to come back to work. I think it's very difficult for us to have any kind of prediction. There's just too many moving parts when it comes to this. So I would probably disagree with this prediction, as well as the relevancy of it in general. We can't predict which companies are going to make their employees come back to work and which ones are going to say work from home. We also can't predict which companies are even going to be around in 5 years. So to me, this is largely a moot point. I don't think if you're trying to play real estate like an options trader, where you say, I'm going to buy in this area because I think people are going to move back, and I'm going to not buy in that area, or I'm going to sell in that area because I don't think people are going to live there anymore. It doesn't make sense to do that. Your better bet is to find the areas that people want to live in, irregardless of where they have to work. Because if companies move there, it's a bonus. If they don't, people still want to live there. So don't try to outsmart the market when it comes to stuff like this and say, oh, I'm going to buy some country property because someone's going to want to leave the big city life and they're going to want to go be a rancher and work from home. Most human beings don't make moves that are that significant or outside of what they already understand. Your best bet is still to think about the fundamentals of real estate, get the best deal you can at the best price you can, buy in the best area you can, find the best tenants you can, do everything as good as possible instead of trying to find some cheat to get around having to do real estate the right way. And as always, pay attention to what the federal government is doing. If they are still printing money, it is very difficult to see how the price of real estate could come down. If companies start paying their employees less, that could affect the price of real estate in those areas. So maybe keep an eye out for something like that. But personally, I haven't seen it. So if I'm going to sum up this video, I don't see any reason to think that the market's not going to continue surging forward. But I also don't think that that is because real estate is becoming more valuable. It's that the dollar is becoming less valuable. So you really have to put the dollars you have into something that will help hold their value. I don't know anything better than real estate. If you like this video, if you want to keep abreast of what's going on in the real estate market as a whole, please subscribe to my channel and then leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about what I've said. And more importantly, what you'd like to see me make videos on in the future. If enough of you want to see the same stuff, I will absolutely make that kind of content. I know you have a ton of people that you could go to for information about real estate and guidance. I really appreciate that you're giving me your time and attention. I don't want to let you down, so keep an eye out for more content just like this.